What would happen when Roman Bridger, the smartest Ghostface of them all, goes up against some of the deadliest killers in fiction? Unlike the other masked murderers, Roman isn't just a slasher, he's a director and a master of planning. But when the curtain rises on a battle between him and twisted minds like Dexter Morgan, Anton Sugar, or John Kramer, the script doesn't always go his way. So in this video we'll break down how Roman stacks up against killers who don't play by horror movie rules. Would he outsmart them, or does his final act end in blood? Let's find out. Now, first off, let's start with Norman Bates. Now, Norman Bates might seem harmless at first glance. He's quiet and keeps to himself until his mother personality takes over. But Roman Bridger isn't fooled by soft voices or creepy old houses, or even a guy with dual personalities. He's dealt with people wearing masks, both literally and emotionally, so right off the bat, Roman would recognize Norman's split personality and use that against him. Now, Norman is also very mentally ill, and against someone like Roman Bridger, who has a head on his shoulders when it comes to killing people, is another huge advantage that he has over him. And also in hand-to-hand combat, I'd say that it's very obvious that Roman comes out victorious. And at the end of the day, Norman is just some tall, lanky, unorthodox killer with no real planning behind the lives that he takes. And in this scenario, Norman Bates does not survive whatsoever. And next we have the man, the myth, the legend himself, Patrick Baitman. Now, Patrick Baitman has the money, the charm, and a taste for murder, but deep down, he's obsessed with control and his appearances. Now, Roman wouldn't care about Baitman's suits or his business cards. He'd see him for what he truly is, a spoiled narcissist with a short fuse. Now, Patrick might try to intimidate Roman or even show off his brutality, but Roman plays the long game. That's what he's good at. And honestly, this may be an unpopular opinion, but I think that Patrick Baitman would absolutely truck Roman Bridger in hand-to-hand combat with no knives or anything, like no weapons whatsoever. But with weapons, I do think Roman beats him. But then again, if Patrick Baitman pulls out his good old reliable chainsaw from out of his closet, a little knife that Ghostface wields isn't really going to do anything against a bloodlusted Patrick Baitman. I mean, I'm sure that we all saw the scene where Patrick Baitman chased down that woman in the apartment complex. Yeah, he's no joke when he's cracked up on a thirst for blood. But inevitably, in the long game, Patrick's ego would get in the way. And before he even realizes he's being hunted, Roman would be already filming the final scene on Patrick Bateman's life. So, does Patrick Bateman survive Roman Bridger? Honestly, no, but it could be somewhat close in a hand-to-hand fight, but other than that, he totally gets dismembered. Now we have Dexter Morgan. Now, I mean, as we all know, Dexter isn't just your regular serial killer. He's a predator who hunts other predators. He's very precise and he's very careful. Now, Roman from the start would think that he's in control, but Dexter operates on another level. And honestly, Roman probably would never even see Dexter coming in the first place. That's kind of how he gets all his victims. But let's just give it to him. Let's say he does. So Dexter would track him, learn his routine, and strike when Roman feels most powerful. Now, this wouldn't be a fight. This would be a total execution. Even if it came to hand-to-hand combat, Dexter would completely obliterate Roman Bridger 110%. Like, Roman just has no real wiggle room to get away from Dexter. Like, yeah, sure, he's more skilled than the other Ghostfaces and maybe would last longer than the other Ghostfaces. Well, he wouldn't. Maybe he would last longer than the other Ghostfaces. But Roman literally is just like another episode kill, or even, a couple episode kill for Dexter. I mean, yeah, he's a popular guy and he has status, but Dexter has taken down people with status before. And Roman would not be an exception whatsoever. He is 100% a Dexter victim. And in the end, Dexter would 100% survive Roman Bridger, and on top of that, he would even kill Roman Bridger. And next we have Jack from The House That Jack Built. Now, Jack sees every murder as a work of art. Now, Roman might feel like he's the director of his own horror movie, but Jack doesn't care about the spotlight. Roman would want attention, and Jack would want perfection. So if Roman ever ever tried to one-up Jack, he'd lose control, and Jack would take that moment to strike. In a battle of egos, because both of them do have egos, Jack's quiet obsession with meaning would overpower Roman's hunger for fame. Now, Roman might plan a scene, but Jack would turn it into a masterpiece, with Roman as the final piece. And honestly, for this one, there's not too much to be said. I do have Jack surviving Roman Bridger. Now we have John Kramer. Now, going up against someone like John Kramer is like walking into a test that you just didn't study for. So Jigsaw is a mastermind who turns people's weaknesses into death traps. Now, Roman would never expect someone to be 10 steps ahead, and if he found himself caught in one of Jigsaw's games, all his clever tricks and Ghostface acts wouldn't save him whatsoever. Like, he would be completely cooked 110%. He wouldn't be able to charm or intimidate his way out. John wouldn't just punish Roman, he'd completely break him psychologically and physically. But for this sake, let's just say John doesn't have him in his trap already, because that wouldn't really make any sense in a 1v1 scenario. And also, John can't use his disciples to do the deed for him as well. And honestly, I think Roman would actually come out on top, and that might be an unpopular opinion. And yes, John is way smarter than Roman, no doubt, but like, if it ever came down to it, if it had to come to a physical altercation and maybe a cat and mouse game, I think Roman is beating John Kramer. Now, honestly, this one is a 50-50 in my opinion, so we'll just leave it at that. And now we have Gus Fring. Now, Gus Fring is a professional and a deadly one when he needs to be. Now, Roman thrives on drama and chaos, but Gus lives in structure and silence. So if Roman ever tried to pull one of his horror movie stunts on Gus, it wouldn't end well whatsoever. As we all know, Gus doesn't play any games, and if you watch Breaking Bad at all, this man doesn't even play in general. And if you mess with him, you'll more than likely die. Now, Roman might try to stalk him, leave messages, or try to get in his head, but as we all know, Gus doesn't react emotionally whatsoever. I mean, have you seen this guy's death stare? Like, come on. And if anything, it would probably even hurt him more in the long run if he tried to toy with Gus. And if Gus ever finds Roman, he'd be dead before Roman could even know it. So yes, Gus Fring survives Roman Bridger 100%. And next we have Anton Sugar. Now, Anton Sugar is literally fate in human form. He doesn't get angry, he doesn't panic, he just moves forward, killing literally everything in his path. And I mean literally everything. And in this situation, Roman would not have control whatsoever. He wouldn't fall for the Ghostface act or get drawn into Roman's games. He'd simply flip a coin, track Roman down, and kill him without hesitation whatsoever. And if anything, Anton probably would just find out what set Roman is shooting at that specific day, then walk in, shoot him while he's in the director's chair, and then walk out like nothing happened. So yeah, Anton Sugar is surviving Roman Bridger. Now, second to last, we have our boy Louis Bloom. Now, you might be saying, Louis Bloom isn't a serial killer, but he is a killer indirectly. Kind of. Now, Louis Bloom is probably the closest thing Roman has to a rival. He's obsessed with media, fame, and getting the perfect shot. But Louis doesn't get his hands dirty. He lets others die while he captures it all on camera. And if these two ever crossed paths, it would become a battle of manipulation. Roman might try to intimidate Louis, but Louis would twist the narrative. And honestly, I don't even think Roman could intimidate Louis. This man didn't even break in an interrogation room anyways. So in a game of psychological warfare, honestly, I would have to give it to Louis, I'm not gonna lie. But honestly, he could expose Roman, film everything, and then sell it to the highest bidder, and then potentially ruin Roman's life. I feel like Louis could potentially survive if he uses that against Roman. But then again, if Roman just sees, wait, you're recording me, I'll just kill you, unless it's live, then he can't really do that. I'd give it to Louis. I would say he survives. And last but not least, we have William Afton. Now for this, I'm going to be doing the William Afton video game version. Now in the thumbnail, I know I have the movie version of William Afton, but I mean, let's just make it more brutal for him. Why not? Now, Afton doesn't really play by human rules anymore. He survived fires, experiments gone wrong, and even death itself, coming back again and again, through whatever twisted means necessary. And honestly, what am I even saying? Springtrap is annihilating, and I mean annihilating, Roman Bridger.